How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be doing something a little different. And please don't mind me. My voice sounds maybe a little different because I was sick, but I'm feeling better. But today's video is going to be a little bit different because of the sponsor of today's video, which is Ash Echoes. Ash Echoes releases on November 13th and will be available on mobile devices through Google Play Store and also App Store, and even Steam as well for a PC client, which is where I spent most of my time playing it. And man, does it feel nice to have it on the PC. Ash Echoes is a unique real-time tactics game featuring amazing character designs, strategic gameplay with many mechanics inside its battle system, and much more in store for you. I was actually impressed with my time spent playing Ash Echoes for the time I did, and felt immersed in its story with its beautifully drawn art style the game is trying to showcase you, alongside the amazing OST in this game, and I'm gonna little bit play for you. There's so many different aspects in this game that would make anyone want to try it out, from the characters themselves to some of the further end game modes that we are going to be talking about in just a bit. But before we go further into the game, I would like to talk about some of its characters, because I do think realistically, when it comes to the design of these characters and also what they can do, there's a lot of really cool stuff in this game that may make you want to try the game out. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the Echomancer tab, and there's just a lot of different characters in this game in terms of design, in terms of variety. We have kind of a balanced ratio of male to female roster, which I kind of find a little cool in my opinion. There are some really cool male designs that I like Reed. He's kind of cool in my honest opinion, alongside some of the skills that he is able to do, which we're going to be talking about in quite a bit. But realistically, I do like how there's a pretty big cast of characters when it comes to what they kind of signify. Like, we have someone with a little bit more of a Neon City type of vibe, which I really like as well. We have people with idol costumes, which she's really effing good in this game. But we have a lot of different things in this game that are really cool, and I just really like the diverse cast and what they look like, and the animations that come with them as well when you're bringing them out into the character select menu. So it's a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of in-depth mechanics when you're looking into these characters. And of course, we get them through the gacha. Now the gacha, in all my honest opinion, seems a pretty good when it comes to all the different things we're going to be looking at. You are going to be looking for a character of your choice, and then of course you get a nice 20% off your first 10 pull, which this isn't the beginner 10 pull. I've already been doing those. This is really cool. And you're going to be summoning for the characters and sometimes the memory traces as well. There are ways to get memory traces, which you can get for free. And if we look at the memory traces, you can still stock up on some pretty nice ones as well, which these are going to get very important later on in the game. But realistically, we can do a 10 pull real quick. And wow. We got a 6-star on our first pull, which is actually kind of crazy. I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Well, this is our 5-star. Oh, and it's Reed, my boy. Let's go. And then we go into the 6-star. Wow, I actually got the main character first try. And what's funny enough, I was already summoning beforehand. But as I was going to say, not only do you get a discounted multi, which is really nice, after 60 summons of you on the banner, the rates are just going to get higher and higher to pull the character. So it is going to be nice to see that when you do pull for these characters, it's not no pity at all. You are going to have a pity so that you are guaranteed the character at some point. And then there's also a standard selector character, so you can pick one out of these guys and pick them up once you hit 300 summons. And there's also one that is earlier on, I think it was 60 to 80 summons, that you could also select as well. So that's 2 5-stars that you have that you can end up picking up. So if you like one and you like another, Well, there you go. You can select them both if you don't already get them. So this is a really nice thing to have when it comes to looking at Ash Echo's gacha system. But the main thing I want to talk about as well when looking at the characters themselves and the actual battle system in the game is that, my lord, is there a lot of depth in this game. And I mean a lot of depth in this game. When playing this game, there's a multitude of things that I really like when it comes to its battle system. One, this is a little bit different for me, but the tile-based combat system is really nice to see when it comes to looking at how you're playing the game. Each character has their own set range. Each character has their own abilities. Like I said, he's able to place down a fire field, which is one of his skills. And the cool thing about this game is the combat itself. When it comes to the elements, I really like the reaction system in a lot of games, especially in this one, because there's a way for you to force certain reactions when it comes to freezing enemies, keeping them in place, doing electro conduct, doing some type of explosion with fire and lightning. There's so many cool things you can do when you have the right team, and this is why it's super important to know what your team does, because some characters are able to place down those fire fields, those water fields, and some of them don't. That's the thing that's really cool about it, is that everyone has their own unique aspect in terms of what they're doing on the field. Some can provide shields, some can provide support, HP, some are able to place down a bunch of fire fields, a bunch of water fields as their kit, but they don't do a lot of damage. Some do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of zones or fields. It's a lot of crazy stuff that you can do in this game, and of course you are able to bring up to 8 characters that can mix and match when it comes to your team. And it took me a long time to get to that portion in the game where I actually understood the combat and was switching out characters, placing the field down, switching them back out for other elements that were making it easier for me to fight. It's a lot of really cool stuff in this game when it comes to the battle. And one of the main things I love about the combat system as well is that when you are playing on auto, which is something a lot of people love to have in a game, especially when they're busy, they want to have the game running up and doing its missions for you while you're doing something else. The one thing I love about auto in this game is that you are able to intervene whenever you want, and it will prioritize whatever you're doing. Because I know in some games, when you press auto means the game is doing it for you and there's no other way to do it. You can't stop a character from doing something. You can't make the character attack whatever you want while auto is still going on. And sometimes even if you take off auto, there's still some actions left over that auto already had prepared, and it's still going to do those while you wanted to intervene a lot earlier. With Ash Echo's auto, you are able to actually intervene, go ahead and move a character, replace a character, do a skill, do an ultimate, stop everything whenever you possibly want. And I think that is a really good option, because there is a lot of stuff to happen on the field when it comes to different spawns on the map, when it comes to breaking shields. It's a lot of stuff that can happen in Ash of Echoes. And the main thing that I love a lot is that whenever I have it on auto, if I need to intervene, if I feel like my team is dying, when I feel like something is going wrong, they're not going to just keep on doing what they want. It's whatever I want, and it prioritizes whatever I want to do. So I think that's a really good aspect of Ash Echo's combat system. And to be honest, the main thing I want to talk about as well is going to be the Nexus system. I think the Nexus system is by far one of the coolest, I'm assuming end game to mid game, or I don't know. It's some type of end game mode where it's a roguelike, but it's a create your leader type of game mode, which I think is the coolest thing ever. And let me explain what I mean. When you play the Nexus mode, you are going to be going through a bunch of different buffs, a bunch of different stats, because you are going to be making, let's go ahead and go inside a actual mission so I can show you the little screen to make a team. Whenever you go inside a mission, you are going to be selecting a leader, which is a part of your team, and also 6 other teammates. Now, the thing about the leader is that you start off, if I can change it, you start off with your main character, and the main character is right here. Now, as you see, everybody's stats went down. There's a bunch of stuff in here as well, which is stats that you can unlock, and these you get it from the Nexus mode. Now, my first time doing the Nexus mode, I kind of didn't understand it until I saw everyone's stats going up. And also I saw a bunch of the main skills and a bunch of the stats that I got from the roguelike mode stay with me in the real game whenever I do anything, when it comes to my dailies, whenever it comes to my story missions, when it comes to the other modes in the game. He kept all those perks. So The cool thing that I like about this is that with Luke, he is a summon type of character. He summons turrets, he summons a barrier, and there are some type of summon set perks that you can get from the Nexus mode. And I didn't know that's what this was for realistically. So it would have been smart for me to go ahead and get Luke with a bunch of different summon perks, with a bunch of different things that help summons, and then build a team around summons. But I didn't know that these perks would keep over from the main game. So what I did was I made one of the best tanks in the game, in my honest opinion, Mo Hongshu, I think that's how you say the name. And I gave her a bunch of defense perks. I gave her a bunch of damage up, reduce the decay on rezzing opponents and stuff like that. Oh my god, was this the coolest thing in the game for me to do when it comes to building out the stats, getting a balanced ratio of stats, picking which perks I wanted to take at the end while fighting these really crazy bosses to try to keep those perks because they're trying to stop you from being overpowered. And you get to keep all of these perks, you get to keep all the stats, you get to do all of this different type of stuff. I think by far that the Nexus mode is one of the coolest modes in the game because it allows you to make any one of your favorite characters, or maybe any one of the teams that you want to make. Say you want to make a super niche, super condensed team of certain characters. You're gonna pick out some super niche buffs that only work for those characters, that only work for that leader, and then you can make that team around them. And then guess what? We just pull this new character. Guess what? If she has a team that's really niche, if she has a team that she wants to work on, we can make a set of perks or a set of stats that work only for them. And then you have your own leader in that way, shape, or form. And say you just want a general grinding team, well, let's make him our leader for general use, and we just give him a bunch of damage boost, a bunch of like defense stats, a bunch of attack stats, a bunch of shields, and that way whenever we do dailies, we don't got to worry about dying, we don't got to worry about anything, we just pop auto, and then he's the leader for our general use. I think being able to make whatever you want when it comes to a leader for a team, and being able to set that up as either a niche team for a certain mode, a niche team for a certain use, or having someone for general use and just boosting up their stats like crazy to get it done, is one of the coolest things in the world for Ash Echoes. I think realistically Ash Echoes has a lot of promise and is a really, really cool game when it comes to all that's in it. It's a lot of really cool stuff in this game, and I really, really enjoyed all that there is in this game. So make sure, if you haven't already, go in the comments, go in the description, go ahead and click that link when it comes to trying to pre-register or download Ash Echoes, because this game is absolutely amazing. Make sure to go download it in the description, inside the pinned comment, all that different type of stuff. Not to mention there's also 200 pulls on release, so make sure to go ahead and pre-register and download so that you can go ahead and get all of those pulls to pull your favorite characters in Ash Echoes. And also thank you so much Ash Echoes for sponsoring this video. But on that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.